Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Judge Simons. I'm really happy that you were here to administer the oath. I got to know Judge Simons during the primary campaign, and she was always cared enough to help me with some presentation tips. And I appreciated that, and I know she'll be a great judge, and she'll be even-handed because she didn't sugarcoat the bad news about my speaking, but always told me when I was doing a good job. And I'm happy that one of her first official acts as a judge is to administer the oath. So thank you for being here. I also want to thank Chief Bruce Clark, who was going to try to make it down here today. He might be out in the hall. Oh, hey, Bruce. Bruce was very kind and lent me an office at the Central Fire District to use during this transition period, which was very helpful to me as I met with members of the community and members of my staff. And I really appreciate that, and I look forward to working with you. The most often asked question I received during the campaign was, why would I want the job as county supervisor? With the economy in the tank for the next few months and maybe years, it's not really a time of great spending, but really of great cutting. And in fact, I went to the County Supervisors Association training for new supervisors just last month, and the retired CAO of LA County said, politics is about timing, and your timing sucks. But to me, I recall the same question being asked to our president-elect in the week before the election, and his response was, anyone who seeks elective office is seeking to make an impact, and I'm seeking to make a positive impact here in Santa Cruz County. We immediately face some difficult decisions for the county's budget this year and next. During the time of economic crisis, we need to make sure that the investments that our community has made to build a support system for those most in need is functioning and viable for county residents who may be seeking these services for the first time. This safety net of services provides support for the disadvantages, but can also provide support for people who are looking for jobs, the next generation of jobs, so we can help our county recover quickly. I'm committed to ensuring that we maintain an effective safety net for the least fortunate in our community. I intend to work with the Redevelopment Agency to help fulfill its mission of removing blight and strengthening the economic infrastructure and economic opportunity for local residents. I hope to work with the RDA to ensure that there's at least one person who's committed to economic development and job training, so we are seizing the opportunity to strengthen our tax base and provide good jobs for residents of the First District and the rest of the county. The first 20 years of the Redevelopment Agency was about improving the streets and sidewalks in our community and keep park purchases and the development of the Simpkin Swim Center. The next 20 years have to be about all those things, as well as improving the economic life of the people who live in Live Oak and Soquel. In the last meeting of 2008, the Board of Supervisors approved the sale of $60 million in bonds for the Redevelopment Agency, which is the largest sale of RDA bonds in the history of the county. As the Redevelopment Agency prepares its next 5-year plan that will include the proceeds from this money, I want to ensure that the community has a strong say in how these funds are spent. I want the community to weigh in about what infrastructure investments should be our priorities, what park acquisitions should we pursue, what kind of targeted investments can we make in economic development, and what kind of partnerships can we leverage to ensure that local residents are prepared for jobs of the future. I hope to lead an effort to engage the community in discussion about how to use these funds and inform the plan when it comes back to the Board of Supervisors next November. It's your money, and I want you to help us figure out how we make these investments. In addition to the challenges of the county budget, our community and our world face unprecedented threats from global warming and greenhouse gas emissions. We are not only faced with a serious quality of life change, but a possible serious deterioration of our cherished natural environment. Our community needs to develop strategies to reduce our carbon footprint and encourage actions from all of our residents to tread more lightly on this earth. I support recent efforts to codify green building standards, but we have to do more than mandate new regulations. We need to develop incentives for the community to go green. New ideas are sprouting out all across the country in communities where they're developing new strategies to reduce global greenhouse gases. I believe that we can work to develop new plans that not only help our county meet the goals mandated by the state, but also help residents manage their utility bills. If we can incentivize the installation of solar panels, we can help the environment, support residents at a time of great economic need, and hopefully lead to the proliferation of new jobs in solar design and maintenance. A key element of reducing greenhouse gas emissions is helping those who want to get out of their single occupancy vehicle and support the availability of alternative transportation. To do this, we must change our single-minded focus on widening the highway and look at all of our transportation needs. I will work to increase the availability of seats on the Highway 17 bus, and I will work to complete the purchase of the rail line and start a community process to develop plans for using the rail lines for a rail trail and investigate whether there's some kind of clean and quiet train that's feasible. Even though the First District doesn't have representation currently on the Metro Transit Board, I will work to ensure that our district gets the resources necessary to have a strong and functioning bus system that effectively meets the needs of our community. We are living in an era of limits, and this is the time that we should be thinking creatively about how to develop new solutions that we haven't considered in the past. Most importantly, I will work to strengthen our neighborhoods. Over the last year, I've had the good fortune of meeting neighbors throughout the First District, from Pleasure Point, Live Oak, SoCal, Santa Cruz Garden, and the Summit area. Our neighborhoods represent the great diversity of people that make up this great county. I heard very clearly that they want effective representation and a leader who watches out for the interest of those in the district and make sure that the problems of the county are not disproportionately deposited in the First District. The effort to develop plans for the redevelopment agency is just the first effort that I want to do in going out to neighborhoods to find out where they want to go and how the county can help them get there. I want to renew the plan for SoCal Village. I want to develop a community plan for Live Oak that is broader than the successful one we've just done for Pleasure Point. And I want to work with the residents of the Summit area to engage in how the county government can be a help rather than a hurdle. The strength of our community and future success as a county rests with our residents, and I'm a leader who wants to represent all parts of the First District. To that end, I'm going to begin a series of weekly meetings with residents to give them an opportunity to share with me what's working and what's not. I will host these meetings throughout the district, so it will be easier for residents throughout the First District to meet with me as close to their homes as possible. In 2 weeks, we'll be releasing all the times and the dates for these meetings, and I'm looking forward to continuing the conversation that was started during the campaign. A critical issue that I heard throughout the community was the need for residents to feel safe in their home and on the streets. There's been a troubling rise in graffiti and gang violence over the past year. I will work closely with the Sheriff and the Deputy Sheriff's Association to develop new strategies to recruit and retain the best deputies possible and ensures that the First District has equal access to law enforcement as they do in our surrounding communities. We need to use better technology to track and apprehend criminals, and we need to make sure deputies are available to roll back the rise of gangs in our area. We also need to create alternatives for young people, and I will push the county to partner with local school district and community-based organizations to develop teen activities that offer structured activities that provide another path for young people in Live Oak, SoCal, and throughout the First District.